Hi, my name is Phil and I'm the creator of GMOC, the GameMaker object creator. And it's a little tool that is handy for you if you're somewhat serious about programming in GameMaker Studio, which will make your life easier. Usually if you want to create an object, which you will drive all of its events through code, you go ahead like this. You create an object, you name it, let's say player, you add an event, let's say the create event, and you add a piece of code like setup init or something. So my problem personally is that I don't like having here this piece of code inside this object. For the reason is that if all these object windows, I have to have them open, because if I just close them, I also close the code. So instead, personally, I like to use, instead of a piece of code here, I like to use a certain script, which of course I have to create here first. Let's call this scr player init script. And now I have to link it here for my player. Of course, I have to do this for each event in each object I want to create. And especially if I'm participating in game jams, I really don't have the time or the inclinations of doing this every single time. On top of that, usually I have my code which I set up in a certain way, which is usually the same for all objects. So it's a lot of copy and pasting, and yeah, stuff is not fun. So let's do this differently. GameMaker object creator, GMOC to the rescue. So if you download it, you will get this little exe file, and this is all you need. Anything else the program will create by itself. So let's start it up and have a look at the user interface. So the first thing you do is just you browse for your project you want to create a new object in. In this case, of course, it's my GameMaker object test project. This one we have here in the background. So I call my new object, let's call it player, and can just leave this blank. And finally, you can tick here the boxes for which events you want scripts to be created and wired up in your object. So for player, let's say create, step, draw is fine. We don't need a draw GUI. Place scripts inside folder after object. We will get to this in a minute. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we click create object, and here in the log you see everything went fine. So here in the background, the project automatically updates. If it doesn't, just open it again and you will have it with the new content. So here, of course, as it should, we have a new object, which is called obj player, has a create, a step, and a draw event, which are wired up to scripts. And these scripts are themselves here separated or organized into folders if you click these place scripts inside folders. Otherwise, they will be just on the root level of the scripts folders. So let's have a look at these scripts, because they are hard-coded for my personal tastes, but you can override them. So you can see here, this is the initialization code for the player, the step code, and the draw code, which isn't, that much content. So, but you probably have a completely different coding style than I, which is completely fine, and you want to have your own kind of default template events for creating or steps. So let's peek again at the folder. Now you can see here there are 4 text files in there, or 3 text files and 1 ini file. So let's take a look at the ini file first. And it looks something like this. So you have all your settings of the GameMaker object creator and also the names of the template files. And these template files are these files here. They get automatically created if they are not present in the directory. Obviously, they are exactly what you saw here. Those are the templates. If these files are present, it will use whatever is in there to create these new scripts. If they aren't present, it will recreate them and use the default values that are hard-coded. So it's no biggie if you just delete them or anything. GMOC will by itself recreate those files. And if you want to have different file names for them, it's no problem. You can add it here in the ini file, and those will be used as template files. So let's just have a quick look at how this works. Of course, it's pretty obvious. So instead we delete this and say here just hello world. Do this for step, for the ini twice, and for the draw event. Let's say hello draw. Nice. So, and now if we create a new object with GMOC now, it works just like before. You select the GMX file and select the name. Let's call it this time enemy. Select your object prefix or script prefix if you have them, and which kind of events. Create object, and it updates, and now we have a new enemy object. And if we look at the scripts, now it says here the content of these template files. One thing that's important to me is that GMOC will never delete your original GameMaker project. Let's have a look here at the project folder. It just renames your project before it does anything to it, here with the date and the time. So you're safe on this side. So that's for the little introduction of GMOC or GMOC or GMOC, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I hope it's useful to you, and thanks for watching.